everyone. Thank you so much for keeping up with me on another episode of Bookish Reflections. I'm so excited. I hope you've had a good month so far, and the year is fast finishing. Like, we're almost at the 6th month or in the 6th month, and I believe that some of us are catching up with our reading goals. I hope you've had fun reading this year. Well, I have had a lot of fun reading this year. I have been enjoying the books that I have been selecting, especially the books I get to discuss about on Bookish Reflections. So thank you once again for joining me. If this is your first time watching this episode of Bookish Reflections, thank you so much for coming. You're welcome. And if you're coming back again and again for more content on this program, I am grateful. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so very much. So today, without much ado, I have a very interesting guest. Remember, Bookish Reflections is all about talking about societal issues, things that happen in our society, and how writers are able to capture these realities in books through beautiful characters that we get to identify with and tell us a lot about who we are and the world that we live in. So yes, I'm excited. I'm happy to have someone who is going to talk extensively about how she feels about the book we have chosen for this month. So she's my friend. We've been friends for quite a long time, and she loves books. And you know me, I am attracted to people who read, and so she's a fantastic reader. She's always someone I want to talk to when I've read a very interesting book. I want to always get her opinion. So her name is Christabel Kadiri. She just said that she put her as book lover. She's many things. Well, but she's trying to be simple, so I'm just going to leave it at that. She's a wonderful person. She's a book lover. She's also, we met in Unilag where we did our masters together in the University of Lagos. So I'm going to bring up Christabel. Woo! Christabel in the studio.
I feel like there should be an audition of balloons falling down on me.
You guys can see how beautiful she looks, right? Like, she's so much finer than the host here. So, well, I'm not jealous.
What's the psychology?
Oh my God. So, Christabel, it's so good to have you. Thank you for honoring my invitation. Like, I'm grateful. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed the book.
Yes,
this is the book we are talking about.
When I started, I had mixed feelings, but yes, I did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it started a bit slow. The writer was going, and then suddenly everything just started happening.
You know that situation whereby life is just very slow like this, and then it just quickly goes, and then everything just happens. Like, where was I when life was happening? That's the way the book went for me. Because at the beginning, I was like, okay, your mom came back, and so what's the story here? And then next minute is
we were looking forward to a surprise. Yeah,
it was a good book.
I got that feeling. I think the writer wanted to build momentum. There were so many things we didn't know, gaps that needed to be filled at the beginning. And so I kept turning the pages wondering, where is she going with this? And of course, the three characters, the three girls, very interesting characters, don't you think? I agree. I'm not from a house of only girls. I have one brother, but it made me think of like growing up, three girls and a mother. Like just being in a girls' hostel alone, you know how it is. So in a family of only girls, how was your interaction as a reader with that family, Osase's family?
Yeah, I could relate because in my house, we're three girls and a boy. Yes, because everybody and my sisters, we all went to different. There's a phase where the phase where peace was all about church, trousers. One of my sisters went through that phase. She went through it for like just 1 month, and then she was like, "No, I can't do it again." So I could read.
Oh my God!
I saw that when people say, "Mom, no, you changed her bommy trousers." I'm like, if only my sister was here. I could see my sister in that story. Do you understand? And then the part where you cover up for each other, the nights where Ejiro went out and Osase would cover for her, I was like, we did this thing a lot. So my mother would be like, where's your sister? I said, she just went to go and buy something. She knew she has gone very far away, but and then you can like, start coming back home, but that kind of thing. So I think
it's such a relatable family.
Yeah.
I totally agree. That part of covering up for your younger ones, or your younger ones covering up for you when you are about to get spanked, and that. So yes, I do agree. And so the days of silence. I mean, first of all, I think what intrigued me to with it to
The
for me
title,
to
right?
the title. Yeah, you got it. I was like silence, and then I was like, okay, so who is silent in this
No,
book? And
when I first saw it and I read the back in my head, I'm like, please let's not be a situation of they raped somebody again, because you so what silence in your mind, you're like, okay, see, my mind immediately went to this and daughters who walk this path. That
yeah, yeah,
please, no, please. I was like, not rape. As in, all through the book, I kept, and especially when we met Fade, Edro's husband, when he made advances at Osase, I'm like, please, oh, please, not rape. Let's not end there, or let's not be like step with her sister's husband, and then that's what the silence is all about. I know my mind, but I like, so I
you
think for
see
me
that
was,
coming.
yes, the first of all, the cover of the book is very attractive. There's no way I'll
Yeah,
see this. I don't know if it's the Nigerian green, or I don't know what
yeah,
it is about.
Masobe books.
Yeah,
The
very
cover.
lovely. It's
Yes.
very lovely. And then the title, from the title alone, you can connect like almost a lot of meanings that when you read the story, they begin to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
think.
And let's even talk about their mom, the Ejiro's mom.
Yes.
I think that woman is a representation of many Nigerian women,
Okay.
especially Nigerian women who have suffered in the hands of irresponsible Nigerian men. Yes,
Sure.
it's I
Sure.
was pissed off reading about that man and the entitlement feeling he had. I mean, I was so sad, and I felt like entering the book and slapping Ejiro's mother silly after falling for his gimmicks again.
Like, I'm like, okay, auntie, this man left you with your children, and then
Mm-hmm.
no, so I, I don't know the part that annoyed me the most. Was it the part where she said that the money she kept for her daughter to travel out of the country and study nursing, she gave it to the husband? I don't know if that part annoyed me, or the part where the man was beating her and stuck the cigarette into her eyes. I'm like, auntie, you are a policewoman. Do something, like your training has to come in. No, because I was angry, and then the nurse started doing the whole, and without a man, a woman without a man has no covering, and I'm like, day and age, are you serious?
But you will be amazed to see many women go through that. And apart from
Hmm.
Osaze's story, her mom actually
Yes.
had a period of silence. I don't think she was vocal about her abuse. I think she was not vocal about it because I didn't get a situation where anybody in the family, I mean extended family, came to intervene in her marital
Intervene,
issues.
yes.
Yeah, so there wasn't anybody who was like a buffer between herself and her husband. So I want to believe that she was basically silent about her maltreatment. Who would she tell as
He
a
raped her.
police?
You remember, they said there were nights where the man would rape her.
Who
According to the
would
children,
rape
when he said the familiar sounds and the groans from the other, and I'm like,
her?
and then no, because
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't know if I should say it's a culture thing. Maybe she was afraid to speak up, or she was scared. People would say, "Oh, you're already married. Deal with it. It happens in marriages." Because there are a lot of times whereby even in society today, you hear when women tell you that, "Oh, I was raped by my husband," or and people go like, "How does your husband rape you?" So people are not willing to understand that marital rape happens. You don't have to be single
Yeah.
to get raped. A married woman, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened to it. So for me, is at the time I thought it was from a place of shame. Maybe she was ashamed to
Mm.
speak up and say something. But when I realized that that's not really what it was. The society was not accepting of the fact that she had left the man in the first place. So imagine if she had if she came up and said, "Oh, this is why I left," because he said it's only her sister that was on her side when she left the man, and I'm
Mm.
sure she never told her folks. Remember the part where they say her father and her mother never came visit, and mother and her uncle never came visiting again because she had left. Because, and I'm like, how do
Mhm.
you have three grandchildren? How do you ignore your grandchildren simply because your daughter left her husband? And
Yeah.
no, I can't rationalize it. I'm sorry, I can't.
It, you can't. And so same with me, I can say the same because I have tried to talk about marital rape with a lot of people, both old and young, my mates, and there are many, many, many opinions to it. I don't stand for it. Some people
Yeah,
tell me that because they are married, there can't be rape. I don't believe it because
that's a lie.
I believe rape is when there is no consent, and I don't care if you're man and wife, if somebody is not giving consent, it's rape. I don't know. Well, people might flog me after this, but that's my that's my
No,
that's my
no,
belief.
no, but it's
Yes,
true now. Let's even take the dictionary definition of rape. Rape means when sex is not consensual. When I mean no is no. It's that simple. Do you
it's that
understand?
simple.
It's really
Yes.
that simple. Because I remember there was a time we had this argument when I was in school then, and I think we read a book, Changes by Martha Idus.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yeah,
We read it. I remember.
exactly, exactly. And so when the husband raped her, she went to tell her people in the village, and people were like, "You are your husband's property. How does your husband rape you?" So is when I see stories like this, and the truth about it is that it happens in our society. I think
Yeah.
when I was growing up, there was as in when I began to have sense at least to be able to tell these things. As children, all these things nobody will tell you. Giving the hand, so you see, maybe you do apropos here. Then when you grow older, you're not like, oh, so that was what was happening, that kind of thing. So when I grew older, I realized that I'd heard stories like this from married women who it happens. And I'm like, society does not recognize the fact that they'll tell you, okay, you as a wife, what did you do that made him want to? Did you tell him
It's
no?
always the woman's fault.
Exactly. As if a woman cannot say, okay, not today, I'm tired or my body hurts or something. And you hear stories of women who immediately they give birth, their husbands are raping them again. I mean, sometimes I don't blame feminists for what they do because I'm like, if you understand the stories that some women go through, you would understand
Yeah.
where their anger is coming from. So I
Mm,
guess
yeah.
that's
You do have a point there. And then, so I was talking about the fact that the woman can be vocal about a lot of stuffs, domestic
okay.
violence, women suffering in silence. So I think that the title of this book covers a lot of issues that women are silent about. But one
Yeah,
other issue, because I don't want us to give so much spoilers, so people can go get the book. But
no
I want us to talk
problem.
about the stigmatization of HIV and AIDS because it comes up in the book. And my mom is a medical doctor who deals with issues like this. And it's amazing how, sometimes I keep thinking to myself, "Ah, she's dealing with a lot of people with these issues. I hope she's really, really protecting herself." We get
Yes.
scared. We actually do get scared, and it's normal. But how can we, like society and people and with HIV, how do
Okay.
we get people out of that place where they do not stigmatize women, men, whoever it is that,
That has HIV.
yes, and it's not just HIV. There are many illnesses that are pretty much manageable, but you
Yes.
are afraid to tell
It's the person next
someone
to you.
else. Yes, all I think is somebody just needs to know. I mean, if I'm living with a person with HIV and AIDS, all I need to know is what am I to do, to what are the things, precautions I should take. I mean,
Take,
it's not
yeah.
a death sentence. So let's talk about it, stigmatization. I mean, on a general level, many people are suffering in silence. And I think that is the weight of this book. Suffering in silence because people do not understand whether it is
What you are
their
going through.
illness, yes, of HIV or whatever. How do we stop stigmatization?
Truth be told, it's going to be a difficult one because first of all, is most of us don't even understand what these things are. And
Mm,
that's the truth. Because so during the course of reading the book, I had to go back and check, okay, how HIV works, how because there's a difference between HIV and full blown AIDS.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
so I had to go read up on it, and I'm like, okay, a lot of us don't understand it. We feel that someone that has HIV is like someone who has cough. The person coughs next to you, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. Because everybody be like, I can't remember. Even in the book, she had to wear hand gloves to
Gloves.
breastfeed. Yes, you understand. I'm like, just so she does not nick herself into the food. For me, I assume because she was educated, that's why she was doing that. But at the same time, we also we I've come to understand that it's hard. A lot of people are afraid, first of all, because I don't know if I should classify it as we Nigerians, but let me not go that far. Let me just say a lot of us tend to we're afraid of the unknown. Everybody's afraid of dying. Everybody's
Mm,
like, no, today's not my day. My village people will not catch me today.
yeah.
It's funny, but it's a normal Nigerian slang way of it. But it goes deeper than that to show the root of our fear. We're all afraid of
Mm,
dying. So that
yeah.
fear of dying stops us from wanting to get the knowledge to know how to manage this thing. A lot of during this COVID era, for instance, a lot of Nigerians still don't believe that there's something called COVID. They go about their daily business like it doesn't mean anything. And in as much as sometimes I'm like, whoa, it's COVID, something must kill a man. But we also start to understand that we need to take these precautions. So I think first of all, we need to enlighten people about what HIV exactly is, how we can get it, and how we can prevent ourselves, or maybe how you can take care of yourself once you already have the disease. I think there was this MTN Sugar. There was one series I used to show
Sugar,
somebody.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Sugar,
that
yeah.
sensitizes you about HIV, how to deal with it, if your partner already has it, and all of that like that. So I think if we can come up with more shows like because when a lot of youths are not interested in a lot of things, so we have to find a way to make it interesting to them. I think so. So
Yeah.
maybe coming down to their no, because that MTV Sugar, it was an interesting show. There was this one story. So that kind of thing always attracts people. So if they watch it, maybe they get to understand a little bit.
Better.
So yes, so I think that sensitization is very necessary because without it, even sometimes you have people that have epilepsy, and then you see people attend like, this one, no, it's from. I remember when a few years back, maybe 2005 or thereabouts, epilepsy was seen as maybe you are a spiritual something, or maybe people from your village,
Yeah.
or even if a child has convulsion, they go like, no, this one maybe now one day he has come back again, that kind of thing. But now with time, people have grown above this thing. So I think it will take time, but we need this sensitization needs to come up in any channel necessary. That's what I think.
Yeah. I do agree. And then let's talk about secrets. Well,
Ah,
people keep secrets for different reasons.
yeah.
But when does a secret become dangerous? Because I was scared for this girl, this character, because I felt like she was carrying so much and she couldn't share. She couldn't share with her friend, Madagascar roommate. Her name
Yeah,
is
Carrie. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think her name is just skipping my mind right now. But she
I
couldn't
always
share.
forget.
She couldn't share with her room. She couldn't share with anybody. She was in a foreign land. She couldn't just speak. And at that point, I was like, oh my God, I think this is dangerous, even for your mental health. And a lot of people are carrying secrets. Why do we even keep secrets? Like,
We're afraid of being judged.
yeah,
That's the simple truth. That's the simple truth. I mean, the average person is thinking, if I tell this person now, the opinion of me will drop, or they will lose respect for me. I don't. So I think it's a human thing because so all of us have done one or two things here and there we're not proud of, no matter how much we tend to deny it. So those
true,
things
very true.
are supposed to send them out to rather die with it. Because for me, I believe that the character in this book, all her headaches, the fainting she had, it was mental. When it is that
Yeah,
you begin to mentally see the symptoms. I don't know, maybe when you were in secondary school, maybe you want to fall sick, you just maybe you want something, you really want sickness, you begin to force yourself to vomit, you force yourself to run temperature. I think it's a mental. So secrets, but is there really a time where secrets cannot be secrets? Because I mean, if you tell one person a secret, it's no longer a secret again, though. So
yeah,
I think
eventually. But this look, as for this lady, Osase, she did keep that secret for a very long time. I mean, she was tight, and it wasn't funny. As I kept reading, I felt like I just kept feeling sorry for her, and I did not blame her. I did not blame her because, like you said, nobody wants to be judged, and so I
yes,
think people should learn a lesson from that. I mean, if somebody tells you something so personal and deep, I mean, why judge that person on a mistake that the person is basically looking for a way out of it? Because sometimes when people unburden themselves, they are seeking solutions, they are seeking for help.
yes,
And so I think we have a responsibility to one another to help to share one another's burdens and not be judgmental. Even the Bible says, judge not, right?
but I don't
And
know
so
the judge.
I really did feel for her. Now let's talk about Fade of Fade. Fade, he's not Nigerian. So my Nigerian
Exactly.
face was reading Fade. But I
You see,
was
I
telling
don't call
myself,
it.
it might be Fade though. Well,
Oh
let's
no,
just say
well, let's call you Fade. Let's leave it like that.
let's call him Fade, right? Because he's not
Let's leave it
Nigerian.
like that.
Now,
Yes,
this character basically he was like the whole thing that just tilted the pot. And
Yes.
basically, by the end of it all, we discovered that he was the fulcrum for which everything, all the secrets and all of that
Everything, yes, started
was
from here.
hanging on him. So he came as the messiah to the family, the economic savior. He was the fine Lebanese guy, business guy.
Yes, now.
And Ejiro was all over the moon with this guy. And I blame her? Maybe not. The economic situation pushes ladies to,
To do a lot of
anytime you
questionable
go,
actions.
you
Yes.
just you want to get in on it quickly as possible. Let's talk about this guy. What do you think? Why do you think he acted the way he did, especially knowing what he knew about his health status? I it Was it just selfishness or just pure wickedness? Because
See,
he kept
pure
claiming he
wickedness.
loved Ejiro. He was crying, whether crocodile tears, whatever.
And sleeping with her friend. He was sleeping with Ngozi now.
Mm,
So you see, it's not it's not stupidity, it's not selfishness, it's just plain wickedness. Because I feel his own mentality was, I already have it, I might as well share it. I may
mm.
be wrong, but because there's no other reason for what he did. So it's not like he did not know before he infected her. He knew, and then he still went ahead of her to cover it up and then blame it on the sister. How far now? No, no, it doesn't mean it's you see, for someone to have been able to think of that thing from the depths of his heart, then it's wickedness. And there really is no other explanation for it. Because
Yeah.
he thought ahead of it, and then he still allowed her get pregnant as opposed to antenatal drugs. He was giving her drugs to manage the HIV. Are you seeing? So it's like
Mm.
pre-planned. It's not like, oh, a mistake happened and he's trying to cover it up. It didn't show like a mistake. And Adriel was in her own nature. She was like, I love you, so I trust you. So she didn't question anything. I guess maybe
Of
she
which
didn't
I
have
think she was my favorite character. She was the
yes, I
vibe.
love her. She had a
I don't know
big
why I
heart.
am always after the bad girls of the book, but she was the vibe. She also was boring. I mean, Peace was boring. Peace
This
is
was
here.
boring.
Yeah, I have not really interacted with an
At
Ejiro
a
before,
point, I was ready
but
to slap her. At a point, I would have slapped Peace. Like, I just slap her. Receive sense. That was what I wanted to
yeah, you
but
also
no, but
yeah, Ejiro she was the whole vibe, and not to give spoilers, it was sad eventually.
yeah, it
But
was
I think men like Faith, Fade, whatever, takes advantage of the problems in our society,
yes.
the economic situations. He saw a family that was desperate, and he took advantage of it. I mean, how can girls arm themselves against weapons of warfare like this? Big. Because
See,
I was just taken aback as to how far he went. You know?
that's the problem for me is the length to which he went. So because I think for girls like Ejiro had a big heart, and I feel I'm surprised at her character because given the kind of environment she grew up in, she was so trusting, which is very strange from somebody given the way she grew up. You understand, and maybe the kind of job their mom did. So, and then given the fact that she was more, you tend to see most ladies like that, they're already cynical at a very young age because I mean they had to become the mother of the house after their mom is never around. Their dad used to beat the mom. She was Charlie the only one that had a little sense as to when all of those were happening and all of that like that. So it's very strange for me, and I love the fact that she kept that innocence. But it also pains me because you had people around her taking advantage of it. I mean, like her friend and like supposed husband who eventually ended up killing. Oh, no spoilers! I apologize. I take that back. You get. But it's so if fa- Fade, Fade, whichever way was just wicked. It, there's no
Yeah.
explanation on his part. But for her, is I think her character was just to show that there's a good side to everybody, no matter how. So it's like black and white. There's nobody is totally bad because I think Fade in his own way wanted to maybe in his own selfish way he loved her, and then he was trying to remedy the situation by making the family a bit better. Because I mean, remember what he said to the sister towards the end? Like it was
Yeah.
not out of the goodness of his heart he did that for her. me, I was thinking, oh, this guy is really nice. Maybe it's just that maybe he's a cheat or something. And I was like, okay. Do you understand? Maybe willing to give him a little leg room and stuff like that. But at the end, I'm like, oh no, it was not from the goodness of his heart. So yes, I think so.
And I think I don't think it's safe to be silent when you have to speak.
No. And
And I
especially
remember a movie that Tyler Perry did. I can't forget that line in my life. As Medea, you know, Medea is a very
yes,
interesting character.
yes,
And
I know.
she said something. She said, every time in a family, everybody says, keep it in the home. Don't talk. Don't talk. She said, look, when it's killing you, run out and scream like hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if how do we advise people when is keeping a secret healthy, and when do you know it is time to speak, it is time to cry out, it's time to shout. I can't. And that's why we are all talking about mental illness everywhere now.
Mental
Everybody
health.
mental awareness. So let's tie this up by talking about it. How can we help people that have been silent, have been silenced? Yes, silenced by family, silenced by some terrible human beings, silenced by their situations. How do they come out? Who do they talk to? Who are I don't know how to ask these questions. These are just questions that were running in my mind.
Yeah, I understand.
You know?
So I think first of all is, as human beings, I will speak. I will speak from two angles. I'll speak from the person who has the secret for it, from that angle. First of all, I think as human beings, we need to learn the habit of cultivating relationships, because you
Mm,
know the popular saying, "No man is an island." You just don't assume that one day you'd wake up and everybody would have your time. So I think it's a good thing if we learn to cultivate relationships. You know, they said, do unto others what you want them to do to you. So you should. So sometimes, since I remember growing up, my mom sometimes I would complain, "Mommy, my phone is not ringing." My mom would be like, "Have you called anybody today?" And I'm like, "Do you
mm,
understand?" So sometimes
yeah,
is you have to reach out to people like, "Hey, just want to check up on you." You should have one of those friends or two or three that you just check up on. You don't need a reason to it. Something doesn't have to happen for you to have these friends, because when you need people to fall back on, your
yeah,
actions always speak louder. Then,
mm,
so on the flip side of the coin is, we need to be more empathetic. We
yeah,
are very judge, very quick to assume that someone always has options. But the truth of the matter is,
mm,
it's really never that simple. A lot of people have been pushed to the wall that the best thing they just do, like, okay, I might as well just take my life. So, and
mm,
then we also need to understand that family is family. No matter how
yeah.
bad it gets, they have your back. I feel if
That was the beauty of that family at the end of the day. Yeah.
yeah, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how rough it gets out there, because sometimes the truth matter is that we all go through different phases. There are times you need something, you cannot afford it, or you need something, you don't know how to get it. Family comes through for you. And then there are also friends that are closer than family. So
Mm,
what I'm saying in a sense, sometimes you need to give to get. That's really what
yeah.
I'm saying.
And then, well, Adrian was not totally innocent. The girl now worry girl.
No, 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 that she was
She had her eyes on the prize. So, but it is just like I did a review of a book once, and I said innocent criminals, and I titled that review that because I felt some criminals just go into crime out of some innocently. I don't know how to explain it, but this is not where to explain it. But Ejiro felt like that to me. I don't
It's
know.
very true, because I think I'm trying to remember, it was it motion something motion tourist. I think it was you that made me read that
Easy
book.
motion tourist. Yes.
Yes, and
Yes,
it
in
gave
the
us
book
an
club.
insight on why a lot of ladies become prostitutes. It gave us another angle to the story. So
Yeah.
and people always say that the end justifies the means and all of that. Some of it, I'm not saying that maybe some of our actions are good or jiggy, but I'm saying that sometimes is, if you understand where people are coming from, it will help you understand better and forgive a lot of their
Mm.
actions. Adriel was
Yeah.
not in doubt. But for me, it was, she did not say, oh, all the every time mommy will be shouting for me or beating me or insulting me, I won't share what I got with you. She still shared it. For me,
Mm.
that's the part that got to me. And I'm like, nah, if for any other thing, for that action alone, I accepted her.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
we all need some Adrian. We all need some Adrian in our life. She was loyal
Mhm.
to the end. She was loyal
Yes,
to the
yes,
end,
yes,
and
yes.
well, that's where we have to draw the curtain. I wish we could keep talking about this book, but Christabel, let me just inform you again that you are coming back. You are coming back. There
No
will be
problem.
another.
I have
There
one.
are so many books. You know, just being here today and talking with you made me miss a lot of our chit chats in class. I
I
remember
know.
how we always, after a book has been discussed in class, how we would get our little corner and
That
then
are
we will
little
still be
corner,
talking about the
yes.
issues. So
I
you
know.
definitely have to come back. And I can't wait for us to talk about another book. And I'm so
No
excited that I
problem.
got to share this book with you and to discuss it with you. And thank you for honoring my invitation. And
Thank
no, it won't be too
you.
long. Oh. You know, I'm always reading. So you know how it is now. When I hit one book, I'm like, Christabel,
Just send it
you
to
have
me.
to
You know,
read
I'll
this
read
book.
it.
So definitely we're going to be coming back to talk a lot more. Thank
No
you so
problem.
much. I am
Thank you for
so
having me.
grateful.
I had
Yeah,
fun.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Christabel. It was such a wonderful time. The book is still available wherever books are sold. It is The Days of Silence by Angela Patricks Amegbe. I hope I pronounced that right. There are so many people dying in silence, and sometimes all they need is just one friend, and you can be that friend for someone. Don't judge people. People are going through stuff, right? And this book is will make you empathetic, you know, to people and their issues. I mean, wahala plenty, oh, it is well. And thank you so much. If you have not subscribed, please click on that subscribe button. Sharp, 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 sharp. I'll be so grateful. And then like and share, comment. If there's any book you think that I should be talking about, please let me know. I will definitely look out for it and talk about it. That's what I do. I love to talk about books, and there is no book that doesn't have an issue that somehow affects each and every one of us. So like, subscribe. Thank you so very much. I will see you another time next month. Bye.